Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman of the Football History Dude podcast, and I'm stopping by this show real quick to tell you about a couple of cool giveaways that we have going on here at the network. Both are autographed books covering various topics of the NFL. The first is The Point After: How One Resilient Kicker Learned There Is More to Life Than the NFL by ex-NFL kicker Sean Conley. It goes over his unique experience as a walk-on kicker at the University of Pitt after never playing high school football. And then it gets into some of his time playing for NFL teams and so much more beyond the gridiron. The other is from author Kevin Bryant. His book is titled Spies on the Sidelines: The High-Stakes World of NFL Espionage. This book started as a curiosity, kind of a passion project to understand everything revolving around, well, Spygate. But this put Kevin down a rabbit hole learning about all sorts of espionage that has occurred throughout the history of the NFL. Both permissible and often the illicit techniques of gathering intel to try to impact the outcome of the game. To sign up for your chance to win an autographed copy of one of these books, all you gotta do is head over to sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways and sign up. That's sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways. Again, check out all the other podcasts that we have in the Sports History Network as well. But now, back to your regularly scheduled journey to the Sports History Timeline. This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Yesterday's Sports on the Sports History Network. Today, we're going to take a look at the 1970 season of the Dallas Cowboys. After finishing the 1969 regular season with an impressive 11 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie, the Dallas Cowboys flopped in the playoff, losing to the Cleveland Browns 38-14. It was the 4th year in a row that the Cowboys had a great regular season, but came up empty in the postseason. Still, Cowboys fans had high hopes for the 1970 season, and with good reason. Dallas had one of the best running games in professional football, led by 1969 Rookie of the Year, Calvin Hill. Both Hill and guard John Niland made the All-Pro team in 1969. They also had one of the top defenses in football. The Doomsday Defense was stacked with talented players. On the defensive line, they had perennial All-Pro Bob Lilly at tackle and Pro Bowler George Andre at defensive end. Outside linebacker Chuck Howley was also All-Pro, while middle linebacker Leroy Jordan and defensive back Mel Renfro made the Pro Bowl team. The Cowboys started the 1970 season with an easy 17-7 win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Lance Rentzel caught a 31-yard touchdown pass from second-year quarterback Roger Staubach, and Calvin Hill ran for 117 yards. Week 2 proved to be another easy win, 28-10 over the New York Giants. The highlight came when Bullet Bob Hayes caught a 58-yard touchdown pass from fellow receiver Lance Rentzel. After an unexpected loss to the St. Louis Cardinals in Week 3, Dallas bounced back the next week to defeat the Atlanta Falcons 13-0. Calvin Hill ran for 117 yards again. Then, in what could only be described as an embarrassment, the Cowboys lost the following week, 54-13 to the Minnesota Vikings. Roger Staubach and Craig Morton threw 4 interceptions combined, while the Purple People Eaters defense sacked the scrambling Staubach 7 times. To make matters worse, Calvin Hill suffered a knee injury that would hamper him for the remainder of the season. In Week 6, Dallas recovered with an impressive 27-16 win over the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Rookie running back Dwayne Thomas ran for 134 yards. Thomas also had a 47-yard touchdown run, while quarterback Craig Morton hooked up with Bob Hayes for an 89-yard touchdown strike. A 21-17 win over the Eagles in Week 7 gave Dallas a 5-2 record, as Craig Morton had a big day. He passed for 240 yards, including a 40-yard touchdown to Bob Hayes and 2 touchdown passes to Lance Rensel, one for 56 yards and the other for 86 yards. In Week 8 against the Giants, Morton and his receivers continued terrorizing opposing defenses. The big play was when Morton hooked up with Bob Hayes for an 80-yard touchdown strike, giving Dallas a 17-6 lead. But the Giants, led by running back Ron Johnson, who had 140 yards rushing, plus another 60 yards receiving, responded to notch a 23-20 win. The following week, the Cowboys were back home in the Cotton Bowl on Monday Night Football. Their opponent was the division-leading St. Louis Cardinals. The game quickly turned into a rout for the visitors as Dallas committed 6 turnovers and gave up 242 yards rushing. At game's end, the Cowboys' record now stood at 5-4 with only 5 games left. They lost this game 38-0, and one more loss, they could all but kiss their chances of making the playoffs goodbye. The Cowboys bounced back by beating up on the Washington Redskins 45-21. The Doomsday Defense recorded 6 sacks, while rookie backup defensive back Mark Washington returned a kickoff for a 100-yard touchdown. Running back Dwayne Thomas had another outstanding game, rushing for 104 yards and 3 touchdowns, including a 35-yard touchdown run. Up next was a Thanksgiving Day matchup against the Green Bay Packers. With the game tied 3-3 after 3 quarters, the Cowboys scored 13 unanswered points in the fourth quarter and cruised to a 16-3 victory. Then Dallas made it 3 wins in a row and a rematch with Washington. The Cowboys outgained the Skins 424 yards to 166, and Dwayne Thomas had another big day rushing for 123 yards. The final score was Dallas 34, Washington 0. The Week 13 game ended up being a mudbath at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. It was an unusual game by any measure. For one thing, the Cowboys' offense sputtered, gaining only 174 total yards. Cleveland gained 299 total yards, but turned the ball over 4 times, and their only score came on a safety. Cowboys kicker Mike Clark booted 2 field goals to give Dallas a 6-2 win. That game set up the regular season finale against the Houston Oilers. Dallas cruised to a 52-10 victory. With everything on the line, a win meant a trip to the playoffs for a 5th year in a row. The Cowboys outgained Houston by nearly 400 yards, and the Doomsday Defense had 7 sacks. Individually, Rookie of the Year Dwayne Thomas rushed for 115 yards. Bob Hayes had 6 catches for 187 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Craig Morton threw for 349 yards and 5 touchdowns. Next, the Cowboys would face the Detroit Lions in the divisional playoff. In what is still the lowest scoring playoff game in NFL history, the Cowboys defeated the Lions 5-0. Dwayne Thomas stood out again with a 135-yard rushing performance. That win advanced the Cowboys to the NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers in the last NFL game to be played at Kezar Stadium. The game ended up being passing versus rushing, and rushing won that day. San Francisco gained 262 yards through the air, while Dallas had barely 100 yards passing. But the visitors outgained the 49ers in rushing yardage, 229 to 61, led by Dwayne Thomas's 143 yards. Dallas won 17-10, claiming its first Super Bowl appearance. The storyline going into the Super Bowl is just how the Doomsday Defense fit the Cowboys. Porous in back-to-back losses against the Giants in Week 8 and the Cardinals in Week 9, now the Dallas D was almost impossible to score against. The lone touchdown scored by the 49ers in the championship game was the first touchdown scored against the Cowboys defense in their last 6 games. Over that span, opponents scored only 25 points, 10 of which were given up by the Cowboys offense. In Super Bowl V, the Cowboys defense once again played superbly, holding Baltimore to 69 yards rushing and forcing 7 turnovers. But the Colts defense played equally well, holding the Cowboys to just 217 total yards, and Dwayne Thomas to just 35 yards rushing. Baltimore Colts rookie kicker Jim O'Brien booted a 32-yard field goal with 5 seconds left to give the Colts a 16-13 victory, and the label of next year's champions continued to haunt the Cowboys. It was a disappointing end to a great season, but in my next article, I'll write about how the Cowboys would be back in 1971. Stay tuned. That concludes our podcast for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and God bless.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
It was just another ordinary day in the offices of the Pittsburgh Guardian newspaper circa 1924. But for Marla Delft, assistant editor, everything was about to change. For she was about to discover the awesome attractiveness of Row 1 brand retro sports paraphernalia items thanks to Orville Mulligan, sports writer.
And there it is.
Wow, Orville, that's really the bee's knees.
Isn't it just? A poster-sized replica of the actual 1909 World Series program cover.
I can see that. But where did you get it? And where'd you get it framed?
I ordered it from the Row 1 website, where over 6,000 items of sports memorabilia from the 1880s to the 1990s are available for reproduction, in multiple sizes and in several different materials, with over a dozen styles of frame to choose from for prints like this.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Delft would love to put up more of these in the office. But I'm equally as sure they're beyond this newspaper's budget.
Not at all, my dear Marla. See for yourself. Go to sportshistorynetwork.com/row1.
sportshistorynetwork.com/row1. Oh my, these are good prices. Oh, and look at this stuff. Oklahoma-Nebraska football, college basketball art, Michael Jordan items.
And so
retro
it was that
sports
Marla Delft
advertisement
discovered the
placards.
splendiferous magic of Row 1 sports memorabilia, arts, and prints. You can too by visiting sportshistorynetwork.com/row1. That's ROW1 today for access to the full Row 1 catalog of gallery prints and gifts like t-shirts, long-sleeve shirts, telephone cases, coffee mugs, blankets, pillows, towels, and even shower curtains. Act today for 15% discount off all prints with coupon code SHN15 and 20% off all other items with coupon code SHN20 at checkout. And keep your dial locked to the Sports History Network for the exciting chronicles of the 1920 sports world in Orville Mulligan, Sports Writer, coming soon.